All right, get ready because today we're taking a deep dive into the world of Coast Guard Watch Officers.
A career path where you're not just, observing the water, but really actively safeguarding lives and keeping things safe out there on the sea.
Exactly, and we're talking about how to nail that interview using some incredible resources from RoleCatcher.
Yeah, we've got career guides, interview guides, and even some AI magic to help you really stand out.
So if you're ready to make waves in the Coast Guard, this deep dive is for you.
Let's jump right in.
Okay, first up, let's tackle one of those classic interview questions. What inspired you to pursue a career as a Coast Guard Watch Officer?
It sounds simple enough, right? But there's a lot more to it than just saying you like the ocean.
Yeah, man, they're looking for something deeper.
Exactly. They want to see that genuine passion, that fire in your belly that drives you to serve and protect our waters.
So how do we convey that in an interview setting?
It's all about connecting with your why. Think about what truly sparked your interest in this career. Was it a desire to serve, a fascination with maritime operations, or maybe even a personal experience that solidified your calling?
And I think this is where RoleCatcher's AI can really come in handy.
Absolutely. Their AI can actually analyze the specific job description and highlight keywords that resonate with the hiring manager.
So we can sprinkle those keywords into our answers and make them even more impactful.
Right. It's about speaking their language, showing them that you understand what they're looking for, and that you're the perfect fit for the role.
I love that. Okay, next question. How do you stay current with the latest maritime safety procedures and protocols?
Ah, yes, the ever-changing world of maritime safety.
It's not just about skimming a manual every now and then, right?
Definitely not. The interviewer wants to see that you're proactive about staying ahead of the curve, that you're committed to continuous learning.
So how do we showcase that?
Think about attending industry conferences, actively following relevant publications, or even pursuing specialized training programs.
And the career guide actually emphasizes the value of certifications like Coast Guard Watch Officer certification or even first aid and CPR.
Those certifications demonstrate your dedication to professional excellence. They're like badges of honor showcasing your specialized knowledge and commitment to safety.
I like that analogy.
Hmm.
Okay, now for a question that tests your ability to think on your feet. How do you prioritize tasks when faced with multiple urgent situations at the same time?
Yes. The multitasking mayhem that comes with being a Coast Guard Watch Officer.
I'm getting a sense of what those days might be like.
It's all about staying calm under pressure and making those split-second decisions that could save lives.
So how do we answer this one without sounding overwhelmed?
Focus on your process for assessing situations quickly. Maybe mention a triage system, delegating tasks effectively, or leveraging technology to make those critical decisions.
I bet they'll also want a specific example.
Oh, absolutely. Be prepared to walk them through a real-life scenario. Highlight the challenges you faced, the decisions you made, and the positive outcomes you achieved.
So it's not just about talking the talk. It's about showing that you can walk the walk.
Exactly. You need to demonstrate that you can handle the heat and make those tough calls when it matters most.
All right, speaking of tough calls, let's move on to, can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult decision under pressure?
This one's a classic. It's designed to assess your judgment and composure when the going gets tough.
So how do we choose the right story for this one?
Pick a situation that's relevant to the role, where you faced a real dilemma and had to weigh multiple factors before making a decision.
And I'm guessing they're also looking for how we reflect on the experience.
Right. Did you learn anything from that situation? Would you approach it differently next time? Showing that capacity for growth and self-awareness is key.
Because nobody's perfect, right? It's about showing that you're constantly learning and striving to improve.
Exactly. And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can even analyze your responses to these high-stakes questions and identify any areas where you might sound hesitant or unsure.
So it can help us project more confidence and clarity in our storytelling.
Exactly. It's like having a personal interview coach fine-tuning your delivery.
I love that.
Okay.
Okay, let's tackle this one. How do you ensure that all equipment and systems are functioning properly?
This one's all about attention to detail and a proactive approach to safety.
So it's not just about checking things regularly.
Nope, you need to go deeper. Talk about adhering to maintenance schedules, conducting thorough inspections, using diagnostic tools, and meticulously documenting your actions.
And I bet it wouldn't hurt to drop some knowledge about the specific equipment used by the Coast Guard.
Absolutely. The more you can show that you've done your research and that you're familiar with the tools of the trade, the better.
Okay, shifting gears slightly with this question. How do you ensure that all communication systems are working properly?
Communication is key in any maritime environment, but it's especially crucial in the Coast Guard.
So what are they looking for in our answer here?
They want to know that you understand the importance of maintaining those communication channels and that you have systems in place to ensure their reliability.
So talk about testing communication systems, establishing backups, and having emergency procedures in place.
Right, you need to be prepared for anything, including communication outages.
Okay, let's navigate into some interpersonal waters with this question. How do you handle conflicts with other team members or stakeholders?
Ah, yes. The inevitable conflicts that arise when you're working in a high-pressure environment.
It's not all about technical skills, right? Teamwork and communication are just as important in this role.
Absolutely. The Coast Guard is all about teamwork, and the interviewer wants to see that you can navigate those interpersonal challenges effectively.
So how do we approach this one?
Focus on your approach to conflict resolution. Emphasize active listening, understanding different perspectives, and finding common ground. You might mention techniques like mediation or a collaborative problem solving.
And I bet they'll want a real-life example here, too.
Absolutely. Be ready to share a situation where you successfully navigated a conflict, highlighting your communication skills and your ability to find a solution that benefited everyone involved.
Okay, now for a question that truly puts you in the hot seat. How do you respond to emergencies on the water?
This one gets the adrenaline pumping.
It's the ultimate test of your ability to remain calm, think clearly, and take decisive action under pressure.
Exactly. Describe your process for assessing the situation, gathering information, deploying resources, and coordinating with other agencies.
And remember, even if you haven't faced a real-life emergency yet, you can still draw on your training and simulations.
Right. Talk about those drills, those protocols, those scenarios you've practiced. It all demonstrates your preparedness and your ability to handle pressure.
Okay, let's keep the momentum going with this one. How do you ensure compliance with safety regulations and procedures?
Safety first always.
It's the foundation of everything the Coast Guard does.
Absolutely. And the interviewer wants to see that you're not just aware of the regulations, but that you're actively committed to upholding them.
So showcase your knowledge of those regulations and procedures, your experience with conducting inspections, and your ability to enforce those protocols.
And don't forget to mention those certifications. They speak volumes about your dedication to safety and your knowledge of industry best practices.
All right, last question for this part of our deep dive. How do you manage and motivate team members?
Leading a Coast Guard team is a unique challenge. It requires a specific set of skills and qualities to inspire and guide others in those high-pressure situations.
So what are they really looking for in our answer here? What kind of leadership style shines brightest in this environment?
They want to hear about your ability to communicate, effectively delegate tasks, thoughtfully build morale, and foster a culture of trust and respect within your team. Think about specific examples where you've successfully led a team, resolved conflicts, or motivated others to achieve a common goal, especially in challenging circumstances.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI could be a huge help in tailoring your answers to highlight the leadership qualities that are most relevant to the Coast Guard.
Exactly. It can analyze the job description, identify those key leadership keywords, and suggest ways to incorporate them into your responses, making them even more impactful.
I love that we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We've tackled some of the toughest interview questions for Coast Guard Watch Officers and explored how to approach them strategically using insights from RoleCatcher.
But we're not done yet. In Part 2, we'll delve deeper into the career path itself, uncovering valuable insights from RoleCatcher's career guide and exploring those long-term prospects that make this career so rewarding.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Coast Guard wisdom after a quick break.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive exploring the world of Coast Guard Watch Officers.
All right, so we've tackled those tough interview questions, but now let's shift gears a bit and explore the bigger picture of this career.
Right, it's not just about getting the job, it's about understanding the long-term prospects and what it really takes to thrive in this field.
And that's where RoleCatcher's career guide really shines. It's packed with valuable insights about career growth, potential for advancement, and what a day in the life of a Coast Guard Watch Officer actually looks like.
Exactly. It goes way beyond just the basics.
Okay, so one thing that stood out to me in the career guide was the emphasis on technology and how it's transforming this role.
Yeah, it's not just about binoculars and radar anymore.
It's about integrating cutting-edge tools to enhance safety and efficiency out there on the water.
Think AI-powered search and rescue systems, drones for surveillance, and those sophisticated communication networks that keep everyone connected.
It's like stepping into a high-tech command center where you're analyzing data, managing complex systems, and making critical decisions based on real-time information.
And that's why the career guide stresses the importance of continuous learning.
You got to stay ahead of the curve, right?
Absolutely. The Coast Guard is a dynamic field, and those who are willing to embrace new technologies and constantly seek professional development opportunities will definitely have a leg up.
Speaking of having a leg up, the career guide also highlights some really interesting paths for advancement.
Yeah, you're not stuck as a watch officer forever.
There are opportunities to climb the ranks, specialize in areas like search and rescue, or maritime law enforcement, or even pursue leadership roles.
It's a career with real growth potential.
And I love how RoleCatcher's AI can help you map out your ideal trajectory within the Coast Guard.
Yeah, based on your skills and aspirations, it can recommend relevant training programs, certifications, and even potential career paths that align with your goals.
It's like having a personalized roadmap guiding you towards a successful and fulfilling career.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the exciting future of this career, but let's get back to those interview questions for a moment. We still have a few more to cover.
Sounds good.
So how about this one? How do you ensure that all equipment and systems are functioning properly?
Ah, a classic question that really gets at your attention to detail and your proactive approach to safety.
And I'm guessing they want a bit more than just, I check things regularly.
Definitely. You need to demonstrate a deeper understanding of the procedures involved in maintaining and troubleshooting those systems.
So talk about those established maintenance schedules, conducting those thorough inspections using diagnostic tools, and of course keeping those meticulous logs.
And it's always helpful to show that you've done your homework by mentioning specific types of equipment used by the Coast Guard.
Like radar systems, navigation tools, communication devices, all that good stuff.
Exactly. It demonstrates that you're familiar with the tools of the trade.
Okay, next up. How do you ensure that all communication systems are working properly?
Communication, the lifeline of any successful maritime operation.
Especially in emergency situations.
Right. The interviewer wants to know that you understand just how crucial reliable communication is and that you have systems in place to prevent those communication breakdowns.
So talk about testing those radios, those satellite phones, those emergency beacons regularly.
And having backup systems in place just in case things go wrong.
You got to be prepared for anything out there on the water.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about teamwork. How do you handle conflicts with other team members or stakeholders?
Conflict is inevitable in any workplace, but it's especially important to handle it effectively in a high-pressure environment like the Coast Guard.
So how do we approach this question without raising any red flags?
Focus on your approach to conflict resolution. Highlight your ability to listen actively, understand different perspectives, and find common ground.
Mentioning techniques like mediation or collaborative problem solving might also be a good idea.
Right. You want to showcase your ability to remain calm, professional, and solution-oriented even in those tense situations.
And I bet they'll want a specific example here.
Oh, for sure. Choose a situation where you successfully navigated a conflict and highlight the positive outcomes you achieved.
Okay, now for a question that really puts you in the moment. How do you respond to emergencies on the water?
Ah, yes. The moment of truth. The interviewer wants to see how you react under pressure when every second counts.
So how do we paint a picture of ourselves as calm, collected, and decisive leaders?
Describe your process clearly and concisely. Talk about assessing the situation, gathering information, deploying resources, coordinating with other agencies, all those critical steps.
And even if you haven't faced a real-life emergency yet, you can still draw on your training and simulations.
Absolutely. Those drills, those protocols, those scenarios you've practiced, they all demonstrate your preparedness and your ability to handle those high-pressure situations.
Okay, let's move on to how do you ensure compliance with safety regulations and procedures?
Safety is paramount in the Coast Guard, and the interviewer wants to know that you take it seriously.
So how do we convey that in our answer?
Highlight your understanding of the relevant regulations and procedures, your experience with conducting inspections, and your ability to enforce those protocols effectively.
And those certifications we talked about earlier, they can really reinforce your commitment to safety.
Absolutely. They show that you've gone above and beyond to stay up to date on industry best practices.
Okay, last question for this part of our deep dive. How do you manage and motivate team members?
Leading a Coast Guard team is a unique challenge. It requires a specific set of skills and a deep understanding of the dynamics at play in these high-pressure environments.
So what are they really looking for here? What kind of leadership style resonates with the Coast Guard culture?
They want to see that you can communicate effectively, delegate tasks, thoughtfully build morale, and create a culture of trust and respect within your team.
So think about those specific examples where you successfully led a team, resolved conflicts, or motivated others to achieve a common goal, especially in challenging circumstances.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can help tailor your answers to highlight those key leadership qualities that are most relevant to the Coast Guard.
It's all about making sure your responses resonate with the interviewer and demonstrate that you have what it takes to lead a team in this demanding but incredibly rewarding field.
And with that, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We've explored the career path in more detail, delved into those essential interview questions, and even uncovered some valuable insights from RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
But there's still more to come. In part 3, we'll shift our focus to RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools and how they can revolutionize your entire job search process. We'll explore how they can help you craft a standout CV and cover letter, practice your interview responses, and even get discovered by potential employers.
So stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll unlock the full potential of RoleCatcher's AI and equip you with the tools you need to land your dream job in the Coast Guard.
Sounds good.
All right, welcome back for the final part of our Coast Guard Watch Officer deep dive. We've navigated through those tough interview questions, explored the career path, and now it's time to unlock the full potential of RoleCatcher's AI.
It's about taking your job search to the next level, making sure you stand out in that competitive maritime job market.
Exactly. So let's dive right in. Where does RoleCatcher's AI really shine in this whole process?
Well, first up, let's talk about their CV and cover letter builder. This isn't just some basic template filler. It's way more sophisticated than that.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So RoleCatcher's AI actually analyzes the specific job description you're targeting, and then it suggests how to tailor your materials to really highlight those key skills and experiences that the hiring manager is looking for.
So it's like having a professional resume writer fine-tuning your application to make sure it hits all the right notes.
Precisely. It's about making your application stand out from the crowd and, especially catching the eye of those applicant tracking systems.
Wait, hold on. Applicant tracking systems, what are those exactly?
They're like digital gatekeepers. Many large organizations use these systems to scan applications for specific keywords and criteria.
So if your CV and cover letter don't contain those magic words, you might get overlooked even if you're the perfect candidate on paper.
Exactly. It's a bit like a digital filter. So RoleCatcher's AI helps you get past those filters by making sure you're speaking the right language.
Okay, that makes sense. So RoleCatcher's AI helps us craft a standout CV and cover letter, but what about the actual interview performance? Can it help us there too?
Absolutely. One of the coolest features is the AI-powered feedback on interview practice. You can actually record yourself answering common interview questions, and the AI will analyze your delivery, your word choice, even your body language.
Wow. It's like having a personal interview coach right there in your pocket.
Exactly. It's all about identifying those areas where you can improve, whether it's projecting more confidence, using stronger language, or even just making better eye contact.
And I bet practicing with AI feels a lot less intimidating than doing a mock interview with a real person.
Definitely. You can take your time, get comfortable with the questions, and really refine your answers until you nail them.
I love that. Okay, so we've got the CV, the cover letter, and the interview practice all covered. But is there anything else RoleCatcher's AI can do to help us land our dream job?
Well, there's one more thing. It can actually help you get discovered by potential employers.
Wait, really? How does that work?
So if you opt in, registered employers can actually use RoleCatcher's reverse matching system to find candidates who fit their specific requirements.
So instead of just applying for jobs, you're letting the jobs come to you.
Exactly. It's all about maximizing your visibility and showcasing your potential to a wider audience of maritime employers.
That's amazing. All right, well, I think we've officially covered all the bases. We've explored those tough interview questions, charted the course for career advancement, and unlocked the power of RoleCatcher's AI.
It's been quite a journey.
Yeah. And I feel like anyone listening to this deep dive is now equipped with the knowledge and the tools they need to ace that Coast Guard Watch Officer interview and launch a successful and fulfilling career on the open seas.
Absolutely. Remember, preparation is key, and RoleCatcher is here to support you every step of the way.
So to all those aspiring Coast Guard Watch Officers out there, good luck. And remember, stay curious, stay driven, and keep those anchors strong.
We'll see you on the water.